In fact, Cincinnati police are doing their part to try to keep kids safe from gun violence. Dozens of kids are taking part in the department's City program right now. The goal of this 8-week summer program is to help young people learn to navigate life. The message is clear.
If we can save one kid, we've done our job. We don't have to save one because we've saved many.
I hate that saying. That saying really irks me. If I just save one kid, really? You ain't did your job. If you save one kid, this is a program, and I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about this program that they're using the police for, that no other community has to have. But this program, if you just save one kid, you failed miserably. And I'm speaking about the program, not the police. Why is it always this? We save one kid. Really? Billions of dollars from the federal government, from the local government, and if we save one kid, we've done our job. Really?
Dozens of kids are taking part in the department's City program right now. The goal of this 8-week summer program is to help young people learn to navigate life. The message is clear.
If we can save one kid, we've done our job. We don't have to save one because we've saved many.
Tonight, our WCPO 9 News reporter Jake Rao went inside that program to find out the impact it's having in many communities.
50 kids are attending a sleepover as part of a Cincinnati Police Department program, and its purpose is rooted in helping communities for years to come.
When you're in a room of about 30 young people and you say, raise your hand if you've lost someone close to you, or raise your hand if you've lost a friend, and 19 or 20 of them raised their hand. Can you imagine?
That happened to us when we were, this was back in the 90s, in the early 90s, like 92. They had a thing called the Male Youth Project over there in the Shiloh Baptist Church, Northwest Washington, D.C., the Shaw neighborhood. And they had, all us in the room, and they said, how many of y'all think y'all gonna be killed before y'all 21? No, it said, how many of y'all think y'all gonna live past 21? That's what it was. How many of y'all gonna live past 21? And I raised my hand. I was the only one raised my hand. I just naturally raised my hand. I don't know why. I just didn't, There was some roughnecks in there, though. Some cats that wasn't roughnecks, but was from real rough neighborhoods, too. So I understand it more now, but just knowing them as kids, I just was like, I was a little confused, because you be with them every day, you joking, you laughing, you doing your thing. Yeah, it's rough and all that stuff, but just didn't expect to be the only one in like a room of like 30-something kids that raised their I didn't expect to be the only one. I felt weird. I was like, but a lot of them guys survived. I see those guys from time to time all over the place. Those guys survived. Very few of them got murdered. And it was because, a lot of them was, good kids, and everybody's not going to get killed.
When you're in a room of about 30 young people and you say, raise your hand if you've lost someone close to you, or raise your hand if you've lost a friend, and 19 or 20 of them raised their hand. Can you imagine?
CPD's Youth City program stands for Children in Trauma Intervention. It's an 8-week summer program for kids ages 10 to 12. Officer Eddie Hawkins says this weekend, a sleepover is designed for kids to build trust in officers and each other.
Their mindset is starting to change in regards to how they think, how they look at their peers, and how they look at themselves.
The focus is also on building relationships with families.
We're with you and them until graduation from high school, until college, marriage, and beyond.
For 16-year-old Andrew Lewis,
I can just share what I've been through, and just to tell them what you can do to avoid the problems and everything.
The police cadet is hoping to make a lasting impression.
Try to build the next generation and just try to get them together and stop these killings.
In the wake of several deadly shootings involving teenagers.
Kind of stings, like, for real, because, like, most of the people that's been, like, getting killed and everything, I grew up with, I've known.
When I see this kid, his wants and his goals and his ambitions, why can't all the kids be like this? There's no reason more kids can't be like this. There's no reason it can't be a room full of kids like this. There's no reason. Even with all the thugs and the hoodlums. Keep all the thugs and the hoodlums. You can't save them. They want to do that. They're doing what they want to do. In some cases, they're forced to do it because of the environment they live in. However, there's plenty of programs like this. Like I told you, there's programs upon programs upon programs upon programs. And if they can't overcome the peer pressure or, the forces that are pulling them in the wrong direction, or they don't have the parents and the guidance to get them through, then okay, fine. But aside from that, a lot of the little homies out here, they want to be doing what they're doing. They enjoy it. It's the life for them. But this kid right here, it's a bunch of kids like this, don't get me wrong, in the community. But it should be more. There's no excuse for there not being more. There's nothing, no oppression, the white man taught us to be like, none of that. White people, let me tell you something really quickly. White people would love, trust me, not white liberals, I'm not talking about white liberals, white conservatives would love for all of your kids to be like this young man. Okay? They ain't worried about you competing with them and they won't keep you down. Nah, man. The crime in the pestilence in your community is starting to spill over into these other communities. You think the Asian community wouldn't want? Even the lady who work at the damn carryout, the cashier at the carryout, or the lady that come up to the the plexiglass at the carryout and take your order. You think she wouldn't want the kids in the neighborhood to be like this? You think she got some agenda where she trying to make them all thugs? Nobody wants their kids to act like the way they act. Like the videos I show you of them rampaging all over town, all the crime they commit, just the way they act in public. Nobody wants that. Nobody is served by that. Everybody would love for more of your kids to be like this. So you can't blame them. They've been doing everything. Everything. Everybody's been doing everything they can for 50, 60 years to try to help us out.
For 16-year-old Andrew Lewis,
I can just share, like, what I've been through and, like, just to, like, tell them what you can do to, like, avoid the problems and everything.
the police cadet is hoping to make a lasting impression.
Try to build the next generation and just try to get them together and stop these killings.
In the wake of several deadly shootings involving teenagers.
Kind of stings, like, for real, because, like, most of the people that's been, like, getting killed and everything, I grew up with, I've known.
This program gets kids off the streets and gives them positive interactions that they can take back home. But Officer Hawkins knows.
If you're expecting change to happen overnight, if you're expecting change to happen next week, next month, or next year, then don't hold your breath. With a young person, the reward is further down the line.
Jake Ryle, WCPO 9 News.
Busy trying to find ways to reduce gun violence in Cincinnati. Reporter Josh Bazan explains why multiple activists agree the key involves the city's youth.
And the reason it involves the city youth, because that's who does a lot of the gun crimes. And since a lot of the gun violence in your community is committed by your youth, What the hell did that say about the parents? Oh, it's white people's fault. My bad. Systematic institutions and shit. But let's just pretend for a minute. And we do that a lot here at this channel. We play pretend. We pretend that it's not white people's fault, right? And we pretend that, you know, millions and millions and millions of dollars are pumped into these inner cities every year by the federal government and the state government and the local government. And there's a damn program for every damn kid in this community. So let's pretend all that stuff is true, right? You got a community where the gun violence is responsible, where basically if you remove this community, this very small community in this country, 12%, if you remove them from the crime data, this will be one of the safest developed countries in the world. You add them to the crime data, and we're the most violent developed country in the world. And a great deal of that is being done by their youth. Wow, man. You gotta let that digest. You gotta really stew in that for a minute, man. Like, put that in a crock pot. Don't just put that in the microwave. Put that in the crock pot. Just, wow.
Community leaders are busy trying to find ways to reduce gun violence in Cincinnati. Reporter Josh Bazan explains why multiple activists agree the key involves the city's youth.
Across Cincinnati, people are speaking up
We're losing our youth. It's so easy to go grab a gun now.
and coming together,
How do we reach these young folks?
trying to figure out what to do about gun violence in the city.
And we could spend a whole day and people say, oh, this is what we do, this is what my group does. But unless we do it together, it's not enough.
Pastor Damon Lynch of New Prospect Baptist Church in Roselawn hosted a community meeting Saturday where the conversation focused on how people can work together to lift up the city's youth.
There's a group of young people out here who are awesome and who are losing their lives. They're gifted, they're talented, and I think that our city sees them as invisible and they feel invisible.
Okay, so they've shown a lot of men. We've seen a lot of men. There's a lot of men in this segment right here talking. There's a lot of men present at this thing. And I've been hearing a lot about high value men. I've been hearing a lot about all these problems will be solved if you put the men back in the community. Well, what these men are saying, if these men are bleeding heart liberals and I just don't see how these men, what they're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, do these men look like they have solutions or that they are ready to lead this community out of this hell? It just doesn't feel like it.
We're losing our youth. It's so easy to go grab a gun now.
And coming together,
How do we reach these young folks?
trying to figure out what to do about gun violence in the city.
And we could spend a whole day and people say, oh, this is what we do, this is what my group does. But unless we do it together, it's not enough.
Pastor Damon Lynch of New Prospect Baptist Church in Roselawn hosted a community meeting Saturday where the conversation focused on how people can work together to lift up the city's youth.
There's a group of young people out here who are awesome and who are losing their lives. They're gifted, they're talented, and I think that our city sees them as invisible and they feel invisible.
It was a similar discussion at Martin Luther King Jr. Park in Avondale.
We need to do right now is to hear, to listen, and hear what our youth is saying because they are crying out in their actions.
Cincinnati City Council candidate Victor Phillips organized this gathering. Both meetings came in response to a deadly 4th of July shooting at Smale Riverfront Park.
I need for people to stop blaming these young kids. They need to be loved on and understand what they've been through because it's a struggle out here.
Okay, sister. I agree. It is a struggle out here. These kids, just walking home has got to be terrifying. Coming outside, you got to be a soldier just to come outside. I get it, man. I'm not discounting what the sister's saying. But that struggle, where's that struggle coming from, sister? Because we need to attack this struggle. What are we attacking? Are we attacking the institutional systems? Or are we attacking other little black kids that's outside making these, so that these black kids' lives are hell? A community-wide malaise that's going on, or the man got his foot on our neck.
I need for people to stop blaming these young kids. They need to be loved on and understand what they've been through, because it's a struggle out here.
In order to keep young people in Cincinnati safe and out of trouble, activists at both meetings say adults need to make an extra effort to listen to and support the younger generation.
Sometimes they make the wrong turn, but we're here to help them get back on track.
Cincinnati police have added extra patrols this weekend to try and keep people safe, but it agrees with those community leaders, and the department says everyone needs to step up and work together to actually reduce gun violence in the city. Reporting at Smale Riverfront Park, Josh Bazan, WCPO 9 News.
Starting tonight, 24 additional police officers will patrol the streets of downtown Cincinnati. It is a direct result of Sunday's gun battle at Smale Park, which killed the 2 teen shooters and wounded 3 others. Reporter Marielle Carbone is live at Smale Park. Marielle, is this going to be an everyday thing?
Let me fix this segment for you. Because of the amount of gun violence in this city, we've resorted to the only thing that works. And we've abandoned all of the BS crap that never works. All the programs and the cajoling and the begging and the pleading and the diversionary tactics and the blaming. We stopped all that. And we've gone to the one thing that actually works to lower violent crime, to lower son crime. Police on the streets, locking people up, putting them in cages. And the reason she asks, is this going to be an everyday thing? Because she wants to know if it's safe to come out of hiding. Because if it's only going to be a short-term thing, she going to, stay in hiding like most of the law-abiding, tax-paying citizens in these democratically run cesspools. But if it's going to be like this every day with police teaming on the streets, patrolling actively, then maybe she may come out and bring her kids out and go to dinner without having to worry about getting hit with a stray bullet or getting carjacked.
Additional police officers will patrol the streets of downtown Cincinnati. It is a direct result of Sunday's gun battle at Smale Park, which killed the 2 teen shooters and wounded 3 others. Reporter Marielle Carbone is live at Smale Park. Marielle, is this going to be an everyday thing?
Well, this is something you'll just notice on the weekends moving forward. And another thing you might see are these security cameras. They're going up all around Smale Park at the riverfront.
I think that's a great idea. This doesn't stop anything. As we've noticed, this doesn't stop, but it helps bring the people to justice. It helps cops. They don't have to rely on the no snitching policy. This thing right here gonna snitch. Okay, this thing telling everything. And they need to start putting audio on these things too. She'll put a little claw, like, when you go to the arcade, that little claw that reach down and grab the teddy bears and that thing. You put a little claw on this thing so that as soon as they see the little savage doing this thing, they just grab him, hold him by his shirt, like this, suspended in air till the police come. That's just an idea. Y'all can mull over that, See if you got money in the budget for that. But this works. Supervision. You need they have to be surveilled. They need supervision. Without supervision, you can't. Wow. And there's no shame about that either.
Something you'll just notice on the weekends moving forward. And another thing you might see are these security cameras. They're going up all around Smale Park at the riverfront. A fatal shootout between two teens right on the riverfront.
I heard sirens and all the flashing lights everywhere. You can't miss a thing.
Keith Mason saw police responding that night from his home across the river.
A convergence of police cars coming into this area.
He says the latest response, an increase in police visibility, is needed.
The whole area really needs to be watched.
Good idea. And I think it keeps some of the, excuse my language, riffraff away.
Ingrid Robb.
Listen, man, I've done so many videos where you've seen some people asking for supervision. Please come supervise us. We need supervision. It's kind of like, remember when you was in grade school and the teacher would leave the classroom? They'd leave somebody in charge to like tell who's talking. You need supervision at all times. Like we literally, you cannot leave us unsupervised. We have to be supervised. Wow.
The whole area really needs to be watched.
Good idea. And I think it keeps some of the, excuse my language, riffraff away.
Ingrid Robinson agrees. She walked the riverfront Friday afternoon with her great nieces and nephew. She believes police plus these added security cameras will make a big difference.
Cameras is a great idea because you get caught and they know they're here. I mean, act respectful. I mean, there's other people down here and you're down here shooting.
That sounds... That sounds reasonable, but you're not dealing with reasonable people. You're dealing with people who have been told that if they commit a crime and they fight with the cop, if force is used, an escalation of force is used by that cop to meet their force, that women like you and men like the other men that we've seen in this video will take to the streets, march, get in cops' faces, throw things at cops. White people who shudder and cringe when they see them will also be there, and not only in the background, but leading the charge to disparage, attack, and besmirch the character and the credibility of the police. Their family will get a big settlement. They'll be on t-shirts. Their name will be a hashtag. And they'll get sympathy from everybody. And anyone who says, well, wait a second, will lose their job, be doxxed, become radioactive. So when you're dealing with a bunch of 14 and 15 and 16-year-olds who've been told that, not adults, but 15, 14-year-olds have been told that for the past year.
Cameras is a great idea because you get caught and they know they're here. I mean, act respectful. I mean, there's other people down here and you're down here shooting.
As violence escalates, of course, our concern continues to escalate as well.
Starting tonight, 20 to 25 additional officers will be on patrol on the weekends, walking or biking the beat. Police hope added visibility will deter crime and increase security.
So that we can monitor the situation, so that we can provide a sense of safety and security and make sure folks know that we're here, we're available, we're ready and willing to act if necessary.
Captain Matthew Hammer is commander of District 1, which started increasing foot patrol a few months back.
But it's all about being agile. It's about having the right resources available at the right places and the right time.
He's also calling on the public to step up.
We ask for safety. We ask for safety and security and consideration for all the folks in our community.
And now there is also an FC Cincinnati game this evening, so that's a big crowd of people gathering in the West End. Those games always have a private detail from CPD, so that's even more police officers that will be out this evening. Reporting live in Smale Park, I'm Ariel Carbone, WCPO 9 News.